How do you fit your writing into your busy life? That's what I want to help you with today. Hi, I'm Colleen M. Story, and this is Writing and Wellness. One of the most common complaints I hear from writers is, I can't find time to write. I'm so busy and there's so much going on. Help! Today I'm going to give you 5 easy ways that you can fit writing in between everything else that you're doing. Now, the first thing you have to do before I get into these 5 tips is to make writing a priority in your life. Most of the time, if you're not getting your writing done, it's because it's not one of the most important things on your to-do list. And if writing really matters to you, you need to change that. Your life is probably never going to settle down so much that you're going to have eons of open time there to write. You have to make the time. And the only way that you're going to even get started doing that is to make a deal with yourself that writing has to be one of your priorities. Almost every writer I talk to writes first thing in the morning for a couple different reasons. Number one, you're not really awake yet. And there's a good advantage to that because it means that editing, critiquing part of your brain is still kind of asleep. So you can get down all your cool ideas and half of your chapter done before that critic starts coming up and telling you everything that's wrong with it. The other reason this really works is that nothing else has started yet, but you have to be careful. Make sure you don't look at your cell phone, start checking your emails, look at your Facebook feed. That's going to destroy everything if you do that. You have to resist the temptation. Tell yourself you will check your phone in 20 minutes. Give yourself just 20 minutes to just sit down straight away and write. And the last thing that's really cool about it is that once you get it done, man, you feel great. You can go through the rest of the day and know that you have your writing done. You got it done. It makes you feel good and it starts the day out really, really well. This only works for a select few writers. Here's the problem. Even if you're someone who kind of comes alive at night or you're a night owl like I am, and you think, that'll be perfect. I'll write right before I go to bed. Here's what often happens. You get to the end of the day, you're tired, you've done a lot of stuff, and your willpower is worn down. Your willpower is like a muscle. And when you use it all through the day, it gets tired just like you do. So when you think that you're going to write at night, and then actually the night comes around and you think, oh man, you know what? I'm really tired. I'll write tomorrow night. If that happens to you, this method won't work. But for a few writers, it does work well because they tend to be a little bit tired. And just like those writers who write first thing in the morning, when you feel just a little bit tired, a little bit relaxed, then the brain kind of slows down and the critic tends to go away. The key to this type of writing, for this tip, is to be able to jump right into it. And that's what's hard. We often think that we have to prepare and we have to be inspired, we have to be in the right mood. No, if you want to be a pro writer, forget about all that and say, okay, you know what? I got 15 minutes. I'm going to write. You kind of have to push yourself past that resistance because you're going to feel it. Even after over 20 years of writing, I still feel it. You can do it. You just have to jump over that initial hurdle. You can help yourself by leaving some notes every day. When you get to the end of your writing time and you've got to stop, give yourself some notes about what happens next, what's going on in this scene and what you want to have come next. And then when you dive back in the next day, it's going to be right there for you. The other key to this is to not be a perfectionist. Write crap. If it's bad, that's fine. At least you're getting something down that you can work with, which is always so much better than the blank page. Now you can modify this as you need to, but the point is that you don't necessarily have to write every day if it's not working for you. I think writing every day is the best way to do it because it keeps your story in your mind and you tend to make faster progress. But let's say you want to write first thing in the morning, but you really can't on Tuesdays and Thursdays because of whatever reason. Don't let that stop you from setting this time to write. Sometimes we can get a mental block and say, well, I can't do that on Wednesday and Friday, so I guess that time's not going to work for me. It might work for you the other 3 days of the week, or maybe you can do 2 days of the week and then a weekend morning. Do a mix and mashup of times that work for you, but the important thing with this step is that you write it down in your planner or on your calendar or in your phone or whatever you use to keep track of your schedule so that you make sure that each time you're scheduled to write that you're actually writing. This tip can work really well because it can make you feel like you're kind of getting away with something and your writing can then become that reward. So you're like, okay, I skipped my morning meeting with the PTA today so that I could write. Or I decided not to do laundry on Saturday morning so I could write. And I handed that off to my older children to manage or something. I don't know what your solution might be. But giving up something is often a really good way to make sure you have time for writing. I would recommend giving something up that is taking up a lot of your time on a regular basis and using that to write instead. So in review, if you're having trouble fitting writing into your busy life, try doing it first thing in the morning, last thing at night, on your lunch hour or on your commute, 3 or 4 days a week, whatever you can do by mishmashing these different times together, or give something else up and write instead. And remember, the most important thing is that your writing is your priority. I can't tell you how many days I've sat down to write and have spent time writing and thought, gosh, I just wonder if I just wasted my time. And then when I sign that publishing contract, it always feels so awesome because I can feel like all those times that I made the sacrifice to write, it was so worth it, and it will be for you too. If you want more help in time management and productivity, be sure and see my award-winning book, Overwhelmed Writer Rescue. If you're having trouble justifying the time you're writing, check out Your Writing Matters, my latest book on how to build your confidence as a writer.